My name is Graham Smith. I am a photographer and tour manager working in the music industry. I'm based in Belfast, but spent most of my life travelling around with different bands. I've just had an exhibition last week in Holland. I've got another one coming up in 2 weeks. 2 weeks time in Holland. Spent most of my time tour managing at the minute. A band called So I Watch You from Afar. I'm working on a book of their photos. I'm working on another book called Going Deaf for a Living, which is going to be out in the summer of 2010. And yeah, just spending every day photographing bands, photographing music fans, and the world which surrounds us. Okay, so here is a selection of 10 photos that I've chosen out. I tend to every week choose a different set of photos that I actually like. One week I like a photo, next week you hate it, but right now, this week, these are 10 photos that I really like. So the first one is Cat Melosian, who are a local kind of folk duo. This photo was taken at a cottage on the outskirts of the Mourne Mountains in Northern Ireland about 2 years ago. The band were up recording their album. They wanted to record somewhere slightly different than a normal studio. So they set up a load of mics in this cottage and we just went up there for a week, load of food, load of wine, and just kind of shut ourselves away. I mean, a lot of the week was just spent doing exactly what it's showing in this picture, just sitting around the table. They were writing songs on the spot, just recording them, and I was just trying to melt into the background as usual. And yeah, this is one of the photos that's being used in the album artwork coming up very soon. So the next photo is Tony Wright from And So I Watch You From Afar. This was taken in Luxembourg, spring, summer of last year, 2009. Tony doesn't like this photo, but I like this photo. It kind of sums up touring life, the kind of highs and lows. This is one of the hard moments. I know this photo probably looks posed, but it's most definitely not. I think Tony was just having one of those moments when he just wanted to be at home. He wanted to be somewhere safe, dry, warm, rather than on the road with a load of smelly guys in a van in Luxembourg. So, ironically, about 2 minutes after this photo was taken, I took another photo which shows Tony in the exact opposite mood, laughing, which just kind of sums up touring life, really. Next photo is Frank Turner, who is my favourite artist the last few years. He writes a lot of songs about life on the road and touring, so it's definitely something I can relate to. This was taken in a bar in Austin, Texas in March 2009. It was he'd already done several gigs that day, but this was a last minute gig in a bar. It was a lock-in, basically. It was just for friends only. And it was one of those gigs that I don't really shoot that many live photos anymore, but this is the sort of photo I like to get, something a bit different. There's no stage. He was playing on the same eye level as the crowd. It was very relaxed. There was no set list. He was taking requests. And this song has been used in his artwork of his latest album. It's been used in t-shirts and posters around the world. So it's definitely a great honour, as he is my favourite artist. Taken after the Glasgow Music Festival in 2006, possibly 2007, not entirely sure which. It shows Paddy Glasgow, the legendary Paddy Glasgow, on acoustic guitar. Members of Mojo Fury, Paddy's wife Stella, and two other organisers. It's taken in the Cellar Bar, an event called Aftermath, which runs the day after the Glasgow Music Festival every year. It's taken about, I think it was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. At that stage, none of us have really slept more than 4 or 5 hours in 2 or 3 days now. So as you can see by the look in everyone's faces, everyone was totally exhausted. And this is one of the photos that was used in a recent exhibition in Holland. Next photo is a photo which technically is not very interesting, but it's a photo I come back to time and time again. This was Jetplane Landing. It was taken on tour about 5 or 6 years ago, and this was the exact shot that kind of made me realise that this is the sort of photography I want to do. I wanted to document. I didn't want to set up. I didn't want to pose or try to make people look cool. I didn't want to break boundaries in photography. I just wanted to get good, interesting, documentary style images. And that was the tour, and this was the exact image. I kind of realised that, this is the sort of photograph I want to take. Next image is Richie Lawson, who is an American singer-songwriter now based in Belfast, and she's a good friend. This image was taken after a day out. We were just kind of hanging out. I think we were talking about music. I think she was just going in to record her album at that time, so it was kind of a day out to get her away from the studio. This was taken at a beach just outside Newcastle, County Down, at about 2 o'clock in the morning. I know it looks like it was taken in the evening, but it was actually almost pitch black. It's one of the few photographs that I've taken that are in this set anyway, that I've used a flash gun for, just to light up the sky. This is a band called The Rapport, a Dublin-based band. This was taken in Spirit Store in Dundalk earlier in 2009. It's a slightly strange image. There's only a certain amount I can say about it, because basically these are two brothers, and very, very, very soon after this image was taken, the band actually split up. The guy who's holding the acoustic guitar with his eyes closed left the band due to some differences, really. So in that ways, it's kind of, I think it's an interesting image. I mean, you can even though he has his eyes closed, you can tell by his pose he was just exhausted. He was fed up with it all, and it literally was 5 minutes after this that the band just dissolved. So it's an image that that's the sort of image I want to capture. It's real life. It's not set up. I don't think they were even aware of I was taking that picture. This is Enda, the guitarist from General Fiasco, taken in America earlier in 2009. After one of the hottest, sweatiest gigs I've ever been to in my life. It was oversubscribed by at least 200 people inside the venue. And again, I didn't want to take the typical live photo, so halfway through the gig I thought I would leave, wait for the band to come outside and try to get something a little bit more interesting. So the band literally just stopped and opened the stage door, which is to his right hand side. He walked out, pouring a bottle of water over his head. I think I was literally just talking to him at the time about the gig. It wasn't, I wasn't asking him for a photo. General Fiasco is a band I've photographed quite a lot, so they're relatively relaxed with me being around with the camera. This is a band called The Fools. Also features their driver and roadie and soundman. Taken on tour, I'm not entirely sure when again. I don't date a lot of my photos, which is silly I suppose, but I think it was late 2006 on an Irish tour. It was quite a hardcore tour. If you actually look at the picture, if you look towards the bottom of the picture, you can see sleeping bags and beer cans and guitar cases and dirty clothes, and it was a bit of a messy tour. It was literally just sleep wherever you can, park up the van and hope you won't get arrested. Yeah, to me it's just a typical on the road type shot. It is a pose shot. I did ask them to pose for this one, but it wasn't. It was still shot in a very relaxed way. And the last image is a band called The Scream, who are from Newry, but they spend quite a lot of time down south. This was at a cottage beside a recording studio somewhere in the west of Ireland, early 2009. Again, this was taken about 2 o'clock in the morning. A lot of my images seem to be taken at 2 o'clock in the morning, I just realised, but I already shot them in the studio during the day, and that was all fine, but it was kind of the cliched photos of them with headphones on and singing into the mic and helping the producer there, and that's great. I got some good images that day, but this is a sort of image that means a lot more to me. I was just us sitting around singing Neil Young and Woody Guthrie songs at 2 o'clock in the morning. Just having a few beers, and to me this is a sort of image that means a lot more than anything in the studio or any live photo ever will.